and you can talk about Isis and don't talk about the rest of them for the simple fact that basically she's the main part around the rest of them when you really deal with the male and female thing. So this particular book is a real awesome book that I highly recommend. Finally, they put out a book on Isis. You know, they had some historical book called Isis in the Greco-Roman world, but that's historical. Then they had this woman, some book called The Worship of Isis, but she was basically, it was a tarot book, and it had a couple other things, but there's never been a complete book out on our set. And I often wondered that back in like 92 and 93, why can't I get complete books? You know, you got the Osirian, but why is there no complete book on our set? So now remember, now when you're dealing with our set, you're dealing with a multiplicity of goddesses. Because one thing about the goddesses is they're triple goddesses, which means that the goddess principle corresponds in a multiplicity of goddesses, and you can also, so when you deal with all of the goddesses, you put them all together, there's this different aspect of the one goddess. As well as if you're dealing with Vodun, you know, she's aspects of that too. You know, some people say Oshun, but then again, Yemen Yah, but also we could even add Oya up in there, because one of the forms of Isis in her powerful form is a segment, so therefore Oya is that particular part. Oh, you see, right, so those also too. So I wanted to speak on that also too, because we're going to have to come to the point where we got to get out of this sectarianism. And the sectarianism is, you got one brother that say he's a Hebrew, you got another brother that say he in the Kemet thing, you got another brother say they're in the Christian thing, and anytime you break it apart and just say you one alone, you don't get the whole story. So this is why we could be 8 years into the consciousness and people still can't drive home what's the real concept, because they're breaking the damn crystals up. You see what I'm saying? They're breaking the crystals up. So I'm in Yoruba, so I don't deal with the Egypt. So let the idiots out there be sectarian. You see what I'm saying? You got to put these pieces together for the simple fact that you are the light bringers. So I'm going to hold that point, because remind me, I'm going to get back with that. Let me just pour the libation. Let me go do something, do the water bill thing. So I don't want to get in the middle of it. And then I'm going to pour the libations, and I want to stick with that particular point right now, because that's very important. So you
I want to tell y'all that you get along with verses.
Because it's going to be a long one, so hell, always. I don't know, it might go fast, because I got a lot of hard copy, which is very important things, so it might go fast when I do a lot of reading it this long. But basically, it's either way it's going to be long, because the simple fact, even if I end there, that means we got more time for question and answer, which is always good. So let me get this list out of here. Yeah, that is right. She says there's a list in here. You saw the list?
Yeah, they got one for like awakening her, one for the noontime, one for the evening. Man.
Well, let's do some of those, and we'll do. Well, let's see. I don't want to mess.
Whoa.
Wait a minute, hold up. Oh, you want us to do a hymn to her?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, that we can see what we can do. Well, let's let a sister do the hymn to that. Any sister want to read this hymn? Any sister want to read the hymn? Don't make a difference.
That one.
Anybody want to read the hymn? Just read the hymn out. You know, we start the ceremony, you know.
You this morning.
That's cool. Come on, you know. Invoke that energy. You see, it's just like, you know, you don't have to read all of this. Just read from this on. Okay. You don't have to read, let's see. Because I'm going to read one also. Here it is, Invocation of Isis. Boom. Boom. Here it is. Just read this. That. Is that? Okay. Okay, first of all, we're going to do this first. We're going to pour a good invocation to Aset. To Aset. Ashe. So now, you got that going. So now you just do the invocation.
I'm the star that rises from the sea, the twilight sea. I bring men dreams that rule their destiny. I bring the moon tides to the souls of men, tides that flow and ebb and flow again, that flow and ebb and flow alternately. These are my secrets. These belong to me. I'm the eternal woman. I am she. The tides of all men's souls belong to me. Tides that flow and ebb and flow again. The secret silent tides that govern men. These are my secrets. These belong to me. Out of my hands he takes his destiny. Touch of my hands bestows serenity. These are the moon tides. These belong to me. Isis in heaven, on earth, Persephone, Diana of the moon, and Hecate. Veiled Isis, Aphrodite from the sea. All these I am, and they are seen in me. The high full moon in the mid-heaven shines clear. I hear the invoking words hear and appear. Shaddai, El Shai, and Rhea, Benay, J, I come unto the priest that calleth me.
All right. Ashe. Ashe. Okay. Like I said, I recommend this, not necessarily because I recommend this for the brothers also, too. See, when we say this and all, we just don't want the sisters to just go out and buy the book. We want the brothers also to get this particular information also, too, because it's all one when we deal with this thing on a high level. We talk about androgyny, so we talk about something on a feminine principle and a masculine principle, but we talk about the embodiment of both. So I want to do one right now, and this is the one to the god Layla. Layla is the Arabic form of Aset, the great mother or something. Layla, the Hebrew side would be Delilah. You see, and you thought she was evil, and you thought that was evil, and in actuality what that was is, when you was thinking that was evil, when they said that she seduced Samson. Samson is also Sirius. The heat, the hair comes from the word heru. She cut his hair, they strengthened the hair. This comes from the word heru, a hair, which is Sirius. Also, the Arabic word for Sirius is hair, hairy. And when you get the word Hare Krishna, which is Sirius Christ, Christos, which is also talking about the same sun, the sun behind the sun, Sirius. So Delilah, which also comes from the Arabic word is Layla, Allah, which is talking about the triple blackness of space, which is talking about the womb. So when you say Delilah, you're actually talking about when she said she seduced, when she seduced her, when she cut off Samson's hair, you're actually talking about the great mother and her manifestation, which would be Samson, which would be the star. So we're talking about metaphysics. A lot of this stuff is energy, formulas, and science in the mythology, because the mythology is science. So so if you look at these things as cartoonish characters, if you look at these things as fairy tales, then you don't get it. Then most people will say, well, those are just fairy tales. You see, which is cool, because the white man gonna get to jump on you when you start going back to your ancient stuff and you start talking about Isis and Osiris. They say, oh, that's just mythology. That's just mythology. Yeah, what does that got to do with science? But they didn't understand. Like I said, mythology is science. It is physics. So Layla, here's one to actually Layla, which is it says this. It says, behold, I have lived many years, and I have traveled from land to land under every dominion of the sun. And I have sailed seas to seas and poles to poles. And now I do lift up my voice and testify that all is vanity on earth except the love of a good woman. We'll change that, the love of a good black woman. And that good woman is Layla. And I testify that in heaven is vanity, and I have sojourned off to every heaven except the love of Our Lady Babylon. We're not talking about the Babylon that we're talking about that you would think is an evil principle. We're talking about Babylon as far as the great abyss. They call it the abyss, which you're still talking about the great cosmic black substance, which would be the womb, or the great cosmic celestial newt. So, and it says, I testify beyond heaven and earth is the love of Our Lady Newt. You see, so Layla, Babylon, Newt, in the esoteric terms, is also talking about the cosmic energy of the great mother. And seeing that I am old and stricken in years, that my natural forces fail, therefore I rise up on the throne upon the end and call upon the end. And I am youth eternal and force infinite. And in the end is she. That was Layla, that was Babylon, that was Newt being, which it also says that it says heaven is there's something even beyond heaven. Beyond heaven is Newt. You see what I'm saying? Or God is like a grain of sand compared to his mother. Well, it's very interesting I'm getting into this, because the stuff that I'm going to deal with here today is dealing with those same principles. Whereas when I'm going to read you an original creation story, and when you see this, you're going to damn sure say, well, damn, I've been gypped with the Genesis shit in the Bible. Because the Genesis stuff picks up damn near when the creation story is over. You know, and the first was light and darkness, then the 6 days bullshit. And then it picks, oh, excuse me, brothers. I gotta see that there's children in the house. But anyway, it picks up when the actual cosmic creation story is over. So when you go to the Gnostic scripts, which is coming out of Coptic Egypt, and the Egyptian scripts, and either the Kabbalistic scripts, which is the precursor to the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is the stuff they give to the regular people. You'll find out that the creation story is about as big as damn Genesis alone. But yet you get the part where they say Adam and Eve. It's all over by that time. So we're going to deal with those particular things that's interesting because it's dealing with the great mother. And so that's the reason why the patriarchal people confront you and say, in the beginning there's just a father. And they can say that particular part for the simple fact that they have left out half of the script where it was the mother. So we want to deal with that because it's very interesting on some things I'm dealing with today in the Gnostic script. And also, I guess we'll pour the water to do the rest of the libations. Ready? Awas, Ashe, Al-Sut, Ashe, Mamu, Ashe, Asta, Ashe, Kali, Ashe, Oshun, Ashe, Ogun, Ashe, Legba, Ashe, Iminja, Ashe, Papagede, Ashe, Oya, Ashe, Shingo, Ashe, Dudawa, Ashe, Nakumpa, Ashe, Umbelinga, Ashe, Marasha, Ashe, Bridget, Ashe, Adam Gwedi, Ashe, Ogu Farelli, Ashe, Ogu Shingo, Ashe, Legba, Ashe Dag, Ashe Shakma, Ashe Baina, Ashe Tipperet, Ashe Naksad, Ashe Had, Ashe Yased, Ashe Ain, Ashe Ain Sos Ar, Ashe Malkuth, Ashe Aset, Ashe Heru, Ashe Raheru Kahudi, Ashe Harpacross, Ashe Osea, Ashe Aset, Ashe, excuse me, Het Heru, Ashe Sekmet, Ashe Sachet, Ashe Selket, Ashe Mut, Ashe Mayat, Ashe Mut, Ashe Nanu, Ashe Heket, Ashe Peket, Ashe Tekhar, Ashe Shuhert, Ashe Muther, Ashe Anhar, Ashe Harsefi, Ashe Heru Kuti Kinti, Ashe Heru Kinti Aminti, Ashe let's see, Month, Ashe Min, Ashe Minavith, Ashe Melchizedek, Ashe Atan, Ashe Medira Atan, Ashe Adan, Ashe Adani, Ashe Bubiel, Ashe Lashmael, Ashe Michael, Ashe Haniel, Ashe Samuel, Ashe Lakshmiel, Ashe Buddha, Ashe Ishtar, Ashe Lakshmi, Ashe Jinsiya, Ashe Siba, Ashe Shakti, Ashe Shiva, Ashe. Okay, let's see. There's some more here. I guess we covered well, Layla, Ashe Babylon, Ashe Nut, Ashe Apit, Ashe Tyre, Ashe Inanna, Ashe Ishtar, Ashe Delilah, Ashe Samson, Ashe Jeshua ben Pandera, Ashe Mutan Ashe Lam, Ashe Tammy, Ashe Sammy, Ashe Aditi, Ashe Gouda, Ashe Shathulu, Ashe Yog-Sathos, Ashe Shub-Niggurath, Ashe Hastar, Ashe Nilahotep, Ashe Azathoth, Ashe. Okay. Well, to all gods known and unknown, Ashe. To all ancestors, okay, I'm going to call it the Hemmitt family, Ashe, the Shaw family, Ashe, the Davis family, Ashe, to all my family members known and unknown, Ashe. So when I count to 3, 1, 2, 3, start calling out your family members. 1, 2, 3. Start calling out. Ashe, 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 to all gods known and unknown. Ashe, to all ancestors known and unknown. Ashe. Oh, damn, I need to take me one more for myself, too. Boy, these clean enough? Oh, okay. Give me some water. Ooh. Shoot. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, hell, I need to prop one of these little things up. We'll be all right, though. Okay, like I was saying, that is the reason why I'm saying a lot of people, that is the reason why a lot of people can't get all this is because most people are stubborn, and most people, we are people that like to feel better than other people, so we almost automatically we want to become the king of something. So what we want to do, the first thing we want to do is if we become renowned or sufficient in any type of thing, what we need to do is, what we tend to do is, when we become knowledgeable of a certain thing, we try to say, well, I'm knowledgeable of Yoruba, so the rest of that shit ain't about nothing. Choose expression. Well, so the rest of that ain't about nothing and all. That's evil. Or, well, I got this here and all. And so we tend to do this, whereas if you're a Christian, if you go to the Christian side, you will say, well, I know this, so that's, the rest of that stuff is, evil, or, it's not advanced and all these type of things. And so what happens is immediately what you do is you break up the crystal, whereas your knowledge is going to be limited. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about, because when you study these things, when you get to a certain point, we're talking about fragments. We're talking about all ancient materials, even though you might have a wide body of the material more than other materials, more than other religions, all of it is fragments to a certain point. That means some part of that particular system did not survive into the future. So that means if you are just one way, if you're just one track, that means there's a fragment that might be in the Hebrew thing that you might have not got in the Egyptian thing. You understand? And there's fragments, there's plenty of it in the Egyptian thing that you might not get in the Hebrew thing. You understand? And it might be some stuff in the Islam thing that you didn't get. Case in point, the book I told you, Moses, Pharaoh of Egypt. In that particular book, when the Bible, both Old and New Testament, broke down and he couldn't find certain things, he immediately had to go to the Quran. And there was all parts of the creation thing in the Quran that he could find to fill in the pieces. You see? So you just don't start there. I'm talking about Babylonia. We're talking about Buddhism. We're talking about Judaism. First of all, we have been fooled to think that because of a modern people today, whether it's the modern Arab or the modern Hebrew or some modern Christian, we think that I don't want to deal with that because you're thinking of a modern thing and you didn't remember in the beginning all this stuff was black. There's nothing, even I Ching. I Ching is a system of the DNA. You think it's about divination, but I Ching is a system of the chaos in the DNA that came out of Samaria and Babylonia and went to China. So we're talking about the original black people that was in China, that's there then, that was their system. So to say, well, I don't want to deal with that because that's not my culture. So we say, well, so in the last 8 years of the Afrocentric movement, we tend to move anything away from anything that we didn't think was African. And here we idiots, we didn't even know that hell all of it was African. You see what I'm saying? If you go to the Chinese, but in the actual literature, African origins in the early Asia, African origins in the early Mexico, they literally say this stuff is African. But then again, when it comes up to a person, and some person might come in and start talking about the I Ching system. Some person might come in and talk about the Islamic system. Some person might come in and talk about the Hebrew system. Somebody say, well, that ain't fundamentally African. What the fuck you talking about? It's all African. So when you break up the crucible, and that's the reason why the spirit world put it that way. They put it that way because they understood things would not survive. So what they did is they brought this white boy on the scene. And this white boy, one thing about him, he ain't going to just jive around with. See, the beautiful thing about the white boy is this. First of all, he has no culture. So therefore, he said, well, hell, since I don't have no culture, I'm already out of the equation where I don't have to be arguing like the Chinese man or the African man about that's not my culture and I don't want to study. He said, hell, I'll take it all and study it all. And call it the New Age. You understand what I'm saying? And all he did is he just took he took all of the African stuff from African Asia, African Europe, your Celtic, your Celtic Druids, your runes. These runes that's up here. Did anybody see the movie Warlock 2, did I tell you? Yeah, in these runes, this is our stuff. It comes out of Egypt. So he takes all this stuff, the runes, the Kabbalah, which they show the same Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic Kabbalah, on the wall at the Temple of Como in Egypt. You see what I'm saying? Long before the so-called Abraham gave it to the Hebrews. You see what I'm saying? But the Hebrews are the Ethiopian ones, so we're talking about a system that was in place along with Hemmitt. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about the Kushite Arabia, which doggone Muhammad knew doggone well. His father was a doggone Sufi Muslim, a Kushite Arab. And the Arabians were great astronomers and astrologers. So therefore, he took it out when it came to those savage Arabs. He didn't let them deal with the actual stuff, told them just deal with the Quran. But hell, Muhammad knew better than that, and there was a whole Sufi order that came straight out of Egypt and it was in Kush and that whole thing. So the problem is when we're talking about it is everybody, the reason why people can't get far and the reason why we have all this fight going on about your thing ain't right and his thing ain't right is because we put ourselves in this sectarian mentality where all of this particular information is ours. Hell, damn Egypt, damn Samaria and all that. We talk about Atlantis and Lemuria. And how far else you want to go back, it even goes to other names. So why, you see, so they say, well, the Ife system is older. In actuality, a lot of these systems existed in Atlantis and Lemuria. Just like you got Morehouse, just like you got Clark, just like you got Spellman. You understand what I'm saying? And you can't think of ancient things with a modern mind. We're saying all of this is our stuff now. So if I see a brother, take for instance, I was talking about the chaos stuff, and there was a book called The Tao of Chaos. They say this extraordinary book comes to America. And it's talking about amino acids, DNA, and the chaos sphere, and they were showing on all of this particular, and the book came out of Asia. So it was a Chinese book. One of the brothers who was in martial arts was been studying, you know, been into the Bruce Lee thing for years, because I was into it back in the day. So it was into the Bruce Lee thing for years, but he kept it up. So therefore, when he got in college and he got to a certain point where it was not beyond fighting, and he was studying the culture, he started studying I Ching. So when I was dealing with the DNA and the melanin and all, he said, that's in the I Ching. And I said, you got it. You see? And all of that is our particular stuff. So there was a book called The Tao of Chaos, and in the back of the book, they go through all this chaos stuff, and DNA and RNA and all of this, chaos in the brain, and they literally talking about melanin. And in the back of the book, they start going into these Asian patterns where the Asian women would sew these particular rugs, or these particular, their family material. The crest or whatever the material is, crest in the European, which is coming out of the Moors brought that shit up there. You see what I'm saying? So the European ain't got no crest. The Moors taught them how to do that. So the family crest, so these Asians, they had these family crests. You see that these mutant Asians got from the black Asians. And in here, you can surely see the same patterns of the doggone kente cloth. And it was actually talking about in the book, the breaking down and saying that this was patterns that they was getting out of their DNA in their brain, their cosmetic makeup. You see what I'm saying? Their biological makeup. They was getting these particular things and weaving them on the pattern, and it actually would bring them into altered states of consciousness and raise their spirituality based on what they would weave and what they would wear. Then you see the black Scots, the people in Scotland, which you're going to get into. And you see them with that checkered robe. That comes from Africa. That doggone robe that you see, the damn bagpipe, that ain't nothing but the Egyptian robe. That's all it is. So the point is, what we're saying is that at this particular time, we got to weave all this stuff together. You can't just say, I'm into the Hebrew thing. I'm just into the Islam thing. You let the masses do that. You see what I'm saying? Let the masses do that. But then again, we're talking about a group of people that's not the masses. You see what I'm saying? So even though you got most of the masses, just dumb people hanging downtown. You know what I'm saying? Around the underground. Then you have the group of the masses that tried to get some knowledge, but they got caught in one set. So they in this group. I'm in the nation. I'm in this one. I'm in that one. Then you have a group of people that understand that all this stuff came beyond that. The word, like the word more. You see the word Lemuria is in there. It means Lord of the earth. You see what I'm saying? So then you're talking about people, and you are those particular people supposed to get beyond all the people that's out here fighting. That's sectarianism. Then you got the Baptists against the Methodists. So this is the thing, and this is why you can't put the pieces to the puzzle together. It's like when I was at 700 one day, a brother came up, he said, man, I'm studying this Egyptian stuff. He said, I'm seeing what you're saying now. He said, first I thought you was crazy for 2 or 3 years. He said, but I was into the Hebrew thing. He said, I didn't really like the Egyptian thing. He said, but now I'm studying. And I said, well, look, man. And so what I understood was he was right. As long as he was in one thing, he didn't understand for some reasons, for some cultural difference. He's thinking that it's different. All that stuff is the same. When we get deeper into this, we'll see what's going on. So that's one thing that you also need to deal with this time. Anything you see that's got some knowledge in it, just remember it's yours. It's nothing that didn't come outside of you. And not just nothing just came outside of Africa, because you just wasn't in the landmass of Africa. You was all over the earth. Take for instance. Now, anybody saw this thing about Atlantis that came on about 3 weeks ago on Sunday night? They was trying to find out whether Atlantis was near Greece, where Atlantis was near the Atlantic, or where Atlantis was near Australia. And the problem was that they didn't understand that it was one landmass at one time, and all that was called Mu, Lemuria, Atlantis, Terra, Alchemoria, these different names. And when they broke up, they could find evidence, and so they was actually finding evidence in the part near the Mediterranean. They was finding evidence near Australia. They was finding evidence near the Atlantic. And they couldn't understand what was going on. And what was actually going on is because they did not deal with the one landmass theory and one people on the earth. You see what I'm saying? So they're going to always be in confusion. First of all, they ain't going to never tell you what color they are. You got all these damn colors in the world now. And all these cultures now, they're quick to identify the culture. But see, the reason why they got to hide the black thing, so therefore they can't automatically tell you the truth. Check? All right, so these are some reasons too. Also now you got this debate between the Christians and this debate between the evolutionists. Now the evolutionists are saying that the earth is older than 6,000 years. The Christians are saying and also doing some proving that the earth is only 6,000 years old. So both of them have scientific evidence. The Christians are saying, well, we have certain amount of evidence if it was older. Why? If it was older, the volcanoes would have covered the whole earth and they was going through all this particular stuff. What the problem was is this. They didn't understand that there's two earths, there's two dimensions. The one that goes back from Atlantis to Lemuria, Alchemoria, is semi-physical. Then you would have the history of the physical earth starting 6,000 years ago. You see what I'm saying? Starting about 6,000 years ago. So now what the deal is this. If the earth starting about 6,000 years ago, what you have is, you have a physical earth that the Christians is arguing, and you have a spiritual earth that the actual evolutionists is arguing about, but they can't put it together because they're trying to say, well, we got evidence of things that's physical beyond 6,000 years, and they didn't understand it was a gradual slip into the physical. And there's two different dimensions, same earth. That's what this show that comes on called Sliders that came on last night. Same earth, other dimensions. Your reality can be totally different in another dimension. You know that just by people different minds. Your reality is different than another person's reality based on how you vibrate. You understand? Based on how you vibrate. Another thing I got to get to also too, and this is very interesting. You find out how you can have some people, they could be studying this stuff for 10 years. And then all of a sudden they just go, I just want to serve the Lord, and they go back into the church. You see what I'm saying? They've been going to all of Dr. Ben, all of John Henry Clark. They done went to the Moorish thing. They done went to the Nation of Islam. Then they went to different people in the metaphysics. And then all of a sudden they'll go, I just want to serve the Lord. And the next thing you know, they jumping over the church seats and stuff. Jumping, going all crazy and shit. Why is that? It is because for this particular reason. Let me show you something. There's different frequencies on what we operate on. This is the Kabbalah. Now I want to get a chakra. Let's get a chakra book. I want to show this. Did they have C.W. Ledbetter chakra book? That's good, good. The Kabbalah is also the chakra system. You can do it on the Kabbalah, or you can do it on this one too. Let me explain this to you. Look at this. Here's the chakra systems. Just as you have different chakras, which is wheels of light, you have different intelligences or different frequencies of consciousness. The majority of the people on the planet, 99.9% of all the people on the planet, consciousness is in the root chakra. You see what I'm saying? Now that's a long way between here and there. You understand? In order, so if your consciousness is in 1, 2, 3 chakras, from the root to the navel chakra, it gives you a degree on how you have different personalities. But if your consciousness is not operating from the heart chakra on up, you can't get this stuff. That's why you can get a brother. The brother could not have heard anything. Can walk off the street, come in here and hear some knowledge for the first time, and he got it. And be a soldier, be serious about it. Then you can have a person, they can go to every damn meeting and still. They're still the same niggas they were in 1914. You see what I'm saying? Why is that? That's because the brother, because each one of you are born, or each one of you based on your life experiences, your energy goes up to the chakra based on your life experiences. Some of you are born with your heart chakra open. So based on the way that some of the people get it is based on your energy radiating from the heart chakra. So this is the difference why you can have some people that cannot get it at all, and some people that can. You can have some people, I mean, I was talking to this brother on the bus, and it wasn't because the brother was from the projects and none of this stuff or nothing like this. I believe this brother, I think this brother was in, he'd gone to college for like a year or two. But this brother was dumb as a stump. It's because the brother had gone through life and he hadn't thought of anything all his life. Everything was done for him. So now the brother 22. You see, and all of a sudden, 22 years, you just can't say, well, I'm just going to start using my brains to think. You see what I'm saying? So everything that he got was from some composite of what he saw on TV or something somebody told him. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't think of any, I mean, the brother couldn't get anything. Well, that's one thing based on that, your brain, but also it's based on, you can have the most intellectual people. I mean, they can have PhDs. They could have gone to school for the last 30 years, and they cannot get this. They cannot get it. You see what I'm saying? That's because their consciousness level is below the heart chakra. It's down here. Most of the people's shit is in the root chakra. So what happens is that when you get this consciousness and you start preaching this consciousness, what will happen is that consciousness will bounce off of you. What it will do is this. That consciousness will literally, what it will do is, I can teach you, and this brother, it can get in here, because what happens is if it's not radiating above your heart chakra, it will come in and it will hit you and it'll bounce off where it will only sound like preaching, or it only sound like just like Michael Jackson concert. You know, you getting off and you getting a high, but ain't nothing sinking in. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing sinking in. So it will just keep bouncing off. Or if it's below the root chakra, some people will use the consciousness and they'll say, hey, I can use this to make money off of and get over on people. So they'll get it. They'll learn what they need to learn just to pump somebody up, and then they'll start them a little group. You understand what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, you be giving your welfare checks to people. You see what I'm saying? Then you will get another type of people. They will get the knowledge, and they won't be getting over on people, but their arrogance. They'll use it each time to boost their arrogance. That's right. So you'll get a brother that'll come into a thing, into a lecture, and he'll spend 2 hours talking about himself. Case in point. Anybody ever saw Leonard Jeffries tape? Leonard Jeffries, I remember this because Leonard Jeffries used to come in, and I'd be damn, I said, man. So some brother was like, when I first heard Leonard Jeffries, brother said, you need to get some Leonard Jeffries. So I got some Leonard Jeffries. I'm ready to get pumped up. Got the tape, and I looked, it was an hour, and he was still talking about himself. I had $1 million white boy education. I got this kind of, I was like, what the hell? So it will work. It'll automatically work on a mundane, social, political, economic thing that will never transform into nothing spiritual. That's because their energy is below the root chakra. You see what I'm saying? And so below the heart chakra. So this is what you got with a lot of your scholars. They're so left-brained until everything has to compute into a psychological, intellectual type of thing, whereas they are not really interested in spiritual evolution. They're only interested in being right for the white boy, or even sounding correct. So this is the reason why some people can't get it. I'm saying this for one reason. The times where you just go out and you just say, well, I just got to go out here and I just got to teach every brother. And like I said, that's why you go out here and you teach these people, and they beat you up, and they beat you up, and after a while you get tired of it. The next thing you be saying, oh, that old nigga, they ain't shit. You know, he'll Uncle Tom and he'll sell out. No. You could have got one of the people that probably had less circumstances than them, and you can get a person that's got $1 million. Could have been rich all their life, and they could have heard this one time and be down with it. Because it ain't got nothing to do with economics. It's got something to do with where you vibrating. Check? So this is real key that you understand these particular things, because this is the type of things, especially now, because we're a long time in this thing now for some people. You see, now all of a sudden you've seen all kind of people fall off from the path. You know what I'm saying? You've seen people in the early stages of this, they back out in Buckhead. You understand what I'm saying? They back out in Buckhead. Now, I'm not saying anything wrong with that. What I'm trying to say is you can straddle both fishes. You can live out in Buckhead and work out in Buckhead and still be true to the farm. Because it ain't about a person just hanging out in the hood either. You understand where I'm coming from? But you know what I'm talking about. You got some people that was in this thing, you see what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, boom. They like 5 years, they ain't heard it. They don't want to hear it no more. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why it's based on your consciousness, some things. So let's go and get into a little bit of hard copy. I found one book. This book is a real good book. This book, and when I go and explain why, called Moon Magic by D.J. Conway. Awesome book. Dealing with some things. It's one of the best books put together on the moon that I've seen, which is real key. You see, because the moon is a real key focus. That's why the Muslims used it. That's why Honorable Elijah Muhammad used it. And that's why the Moors used it. So this particular book, Moon Magic, is going to deal with all types of concepts of the moon. You see, and when we get deeper into some things, we'll explain some of those things. Okay, let's go to some hard copy. If you've been noticing that they had to go and ground the F-14 flyers, because since 1991 they have had I think they've had 31 F-14s have crashed since 1991. You understand what I'm saying? Two of them crashed in the last 2 weeks, and they had to ground them. Took them damn near 5 years to find out something was wrong, and then they had to ground it. Then after they grounded, a smaller plane that wasn't an F-14 also crashed. So what it means is based on a certain amount of energy, their aircraft is not staying up in the air when it comes to fighter craft and different things like that. And that's spiritual. Case in point, 2 weeks ago, they tried to launch a satellite to go to Africa so they can spy on Africa. And the rocket went off the launching pad and crashed, right? Okay, it went off the launching pad and crashed. The next week, on the actual, they tried to put another one out on the what you call that thing, the thing that flies out in space now, the space shuttle. They tried to put out another satellite, and that one broke off. This is not by coincidence that they can't seem to put these particular satellites out. You see what I'm saying? All of that, this is not by coincidence that these particular things are actually happening. Now, remember now, last year, precisely last February, they tried to put another rocket up to bring some particular satellite so they say could Africa and Arabia and all those could get cable also too, you know. And it crashed. But we know that that's not about cable. You see what I'm saying? We know that that's not about cable. Then you got Bill Clinton just got together with the doggone, all the TV people and the movie people, and they said that they was going to put a chip in the TV set to actually monitor the TV set. Based on that, and you know doggone well, America ain't interested in what no child get on no TV set. You know what I'm saying? This TV been violent since the damn thing started. You see what I'm saying? Wasn't Gunsmoke violent? Wasn't the Rifleman violent? You see what I'm saying? Wasn't Hawaii Five-0 violent? That stuff in the 70s and in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Tom, you see what I'm saying? So, you know, doggone well, they ain't worried about no doggone violence and nudity. You know doggone well that anytime they come with doggone, anytime you see Ted Turner up in something, you know that that's straight up world control. So that chip ain't about no blocking out. That chip is a spy chip. But it's interesting because we know that all the TVs from 1980 on up got cameras in them. And it was interesting because this was an observation, and a brother told me this last week. Told me this, I think, Wednesday. He said that there was this sister that was watching TV, and she fell asleep. She fell asleep, and she was halfway asleep, and I guess the TV was down or something. Now, don't make a difference. I think, no, actually, they said the TV was off. So don't make a difference whether it's on or off. You know, because like if you get up in the morning, you get up late, early in the morning, your eyes are adjusted to the dark, you can go in there and you can see that little dot in the middle of the TV screen. So now, she fell asleep, and I think she woke up, and she was still staring at the TV, and she heard them talking because she was halfway asleep. See, she was halfway that subconscious thing where she could tap in. So she heard her TV set talking, and there was some people in the TV set saying, not people, literal people in the TV set. I want to preface that. It was people, she could hear the frequency of the TV set, and they were saying, is she looking at it? Say, yes, she's looking at it, but she's just now waking up. She heard them saying this. So they have these TV cameras in the doggone TV in these new TV sets. You see what I'm saying? What's that?
I have cable. I just recently got cable.
Yeah.
I did ESPN one day. All of a sudden, a bunch of numbers came over mine. It's like a geyser counter.
A grid light, yeah.
Yeah, and it just moving. Look at this. I'm just sitting there looking. It's all of a sudden out the blue.
Right.
It's been there for a long time. I was able to check out to see what channel.
That's right.
And I don't have a box or nothing. I just got the cord, you know, one from the telegram pole to the TV.
Right. See, one of the keys is this. Like Brother Juju said, by him being a psychic, he said when they had the black and white, you could see a lot of things. You could see a lot of things You can even see a lot of spirits in the TV when they're black and white. Because your brain is light and dark. That's all it is. All this color stuff is holographic. It don't exist. Like I said, a holographic unit, the physical is an illusion. It's just slowed down vibrations. So now, when they put you back in slavery in 1965 with the doggone, with the Freedom Act and all of that bull jive, when they put you back into slavery now, they're also around 65 and mainly 66, the end of 66 and 67, what happened? Color TV came out. Color TV came out in the mid-60s, even though you might have had some early phases of color TV in the late 50s, early 60s, but basically, color TV came out in the mid-60s, mid to late 60s. Your mind started getting messed up because they birthed the doggone generation off of color TV, and that color is what throw you off. Sometime if you just go to a station, you can deal with this sometime. Go to a station and turn to the station where you just have just like the fuzz. Reason why you don't keep it on the stuff where they don't have nothing. It's a blank station because the noise get to you, So go to the station and turn the noise down where you just have nothing on the screen, but just them little white and black dots. And look real closely, you can see spirits up in there. You can see things moving. And you think, oh, that's just my eyes playing tricks. No. Once you focus in on that particular thing, you can literally see things moving. So the black and white is the trick, you see what I'm saying, to also defuse this illusionary type of concept, because this color is what's messing up everything. You see what I'm saying? And they had color movies before they had color TV. They had color movies in the 40s. You see. So this color makes it, it gets you deeper and deeper into the illusion. So these are some things that you need to pay attention to. So we know that this new thing that they just met, it ain't about no censoring no doggone TV set. We know it's not censoring about no TV set. Now, let's see what else. On the hard copy, I don't know if somebody might can tell me, give me a up-to-date, but I know recently, up to last week, Texas didn't have no rain in 1996. Texas, I don't know if some parts had rain, but I remember on the news last week or week before last, they said it was no rain in 96. You see.
6 tornadoes at once, though.
You're right, I remember that too. You see. Also too, they have this particular new phase that's going out to these white people, and it's a lot of it going on since this particular energy, especially after the heat wave. A lot of white people are turning on their elderly parents. You see. A lot of white people are mistreating their elderly parents, like if the parents are like bedridden or shut in, sick and shut in, they're doing all kind of stuff to them. You see what I'm saying? Like they had one guy, he let his mama lay on one side for like 3 months, and just trash and everything was all covered over her behind. You see, so they're turning on their parents and stuff, so they're literally going crazy. Also, too, I wanted to give you this, too. And this is funny, because Nike's shoe company made a bet. They had a bet going on that they could make a Bozo the Clown shoe out of a spat. Anybody know what spats are? So they made a Bozo the Clown shoe out of patent leather, and they said, we guarantee you we can sell this Bozo the Clown shoe to the public. And all they did was put Michael Jordan on it. And it's the damn New Air Jordans. Look at it. It's a Bozo the Clown shoe. But it's a Bozo the Clown shoe. So that shit came off of a bet. That it's a control monitoring thing, just the same thing what they did with the Jim Jones thing, where they say, well, let's monitor and see what effect can a white preacher have on black people. And we'll take them all the way, and one of the keys of the graduation is to see whether he can kill them or not. Well, it's the same thing what happened with the Nike type thing. You see, they could have did any kind of shoe and put Jordan name on it for all the more fact. They put this thing with this patent leather. See, the young people don't know, because they just like in the animal box. So can you imagine patent leather? That's some damn Fred Astaire tap dancing shoes. We're talking about patent leather on a sneaker. And even though we look at it, you might go, oh, that's the new Jordan. But if you really look and instead of just looking and really just think, because now we don't think no more, and just think, it's a Bozo the Clown shoe. That's what it is. 10 years ago, they wouldn't have been able to sell it. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't have been able to sell it. But see, the people are so crazy now until they could put this stuff out, and it was off of a doggone bet, and now this shit is #1 seller. You see? They just run this stuff on us because they can do this now. And like I said, the masses is at the free will of the white man to do what the hell he want to do. It's just like cattle. You see what I'm saying? Just like cattle. Also, your boy Bill Duke, which made probably one of the greatest dope movies in the history, the movie Deep Cover with Larry Fishburne. As if you notice, after Deep Cover, he did the Rage in Harlem in '91, and in the next year he did Deep Cover, and Deep Cover was a success. It was a movie success. But you've never seen him in anything else. He had to go back and do a little scene in Menace to Society. He had to go back to acting. Bill Duke produced these things. He hadn't been in anything else because he let out too much. Because when you really deal with that movie Deep Cover, the movie is kicking behind, and it let out too much to let you know that not only was the white boy behind it on all levels, but even the same doggone police is behind it. You see. So what happened is they penalized him for that, and he's not been able to do any movies since. You see. Also, too, now, one thing that's happening, too, is this. Now, remember, well, two things. Well, first of all, you got to be careful if you know, if a brother say, like, you know, I just want to get a little marijuana and sell it. You got to be careful now, because what's happening is this. First of all, we're not growing this stuff. That means the stuff is coming into the country. Now, if I'm bringing something into the country, I got a paper and a pad and a pencil, and I can calculate wherever my stuff is going to. So don't just think that you're receiving something. I'm telling you that basically you got to watch out now, because some of the people that you buying it from, they have already cloned those particular people, and those people are implanted and cloned and everything else. And so when even though you say, I'm just going to sell a little bit of money, I just say the marijuana thing because we figure, you know, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of marijuana. You know what I'm saying? But like but naturally, you know the crack thing. So what it is, as soon as you pick up the package to sell, your name goes into a list, because the actual marijuana that you're selling is government marijuana. So it's not as if there's any dope in this country that's independent from the police department and the government. So you are automatically on a list when you start selling this stuff. So it's not like you say, and so what happens is, so, well, you know, I've been selling for 5 years. How you say that? No. First of all, they let a couple of people sell for 5 years, or they let a couple of people sell and all, because what it is most of the crew, they'll let that crew exist until they're ready to haul that crew into jail and put a new crew out so they can make money off the crew. So this thing is set up and all, and it's more advanced than what you think. So don't think you're getting over on this government and all. They know every person that uses their product. From the day you pick it up, they got your name on the list. And don't think you're getting over. The only reason why you don't go to jail is because, you understand what I'm saying? Is because they have to have a certain amount of people with the stuff on the doggone streets. You see? So that's the key is, right now the dope thing is, if you smoke a little bit, well, cool. That's, you know, you grow your own or whatever you want to do. But I'm trying to say, even down to the marijuana thing, what you're thinking, all of that stuff is now government property. And they know exactly where all their property goes. So you got to be careful on that particular thing. Another thing, like I said also, too, the new rule is, if you have a felony, which a felony is anything over $170 is a felony now. If you have a felony, you automatically go to mandatory drug testing. And so now with the users, if they test you for any type of drug testing, they're charging you with possession. Not, you know, you might not smoked in a week or so, or you might have not had no crack in a week or so. But if you got it in your blood, if it's testing your blood, I don't know how long it takes crack to get out your blood. They're not saying that, they're taking the users now. And they say that if it's in your blood system, you possess it on your body. And they're charging you with possession of it. Not the actual physical dope, but if it's in your system, they're charging you with possession. All other ways to get you down. So now we in the Walpack, you know, you got to watch these things. You know, you got to watch these particular things. Also, the thing that went down with the Doom Gang, government operation, whole thing from the get-go. Doom Gang, straight up clones. We'll go back into the cloning and stuff. I got the cloning material over there. Straight up clones. They set it up from the get-go, and the sister came and joined and all of that. And they tortured these girls and all this type of thing. And you know they was clones because they had two sisters doing it. And then what happened is, isn't it funny that you could watch your TV set and you just have to turn on your TV set that day, and the brother gets time, or he gets found guilty, and he turns over the stuff and make a ruckus. All that's choreographed because they control them with a damn satellite, so they know when the camera's gonna be in there, when they actually was gonna say the man was guilty, And they waited till when they said he was guilty, and all of a sudden he turned the TV over and started fighting. That's all set up. You see what I'm saying? All that is choreographed. Then what did they say? They said that him and the other girl and a couple other people pleaded insanity. And they said he's like a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde. All that's set up. All of this, most of this crime and stuff is choreographed. Like your TV show Cops. All choreographed. Now you can be a cop and ride around Atlanta for a damn week and don't get nothing. But all of a sudden the cracker gonna come and put a damn camera in your car now. And all of a sudden every stop you picking up somebody, beating somebody over the head. All choreographed. The cops is in on it, plus those particular people, you gotta realize all of the ones they get, they either implanted, choreographed, clones, and they operate all that stuff. You see what I'm saying? All of that to give this general knowledge that America is so doggone bad as far as being unsafe. You see what I'm saying? Being unsafe. So whereas now, basically, the news is basically 98% of all the news is no more than watching Law and Order or LAPD Blue. It's the same thing. It's nothing but a choreographed TV show. And all the, like I said, all the black newscasters, and like I said before, you know that those particular ones are robots. And the reason why they're robots, ain't no way in hell I'm going to sit on a TV show 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, and give you all this bad stuff about black people. And it don't have no effect on them. They still just smiling. And Monica laughing at the little white man joke. You can see her teeth. The damn show be going off and she just be smiling because she's a damn robot. She's a robot. You see what I'm saying? Because nothing, it seemed to me soon, after so many years, it would affect me. All my brothers and sisters, I know she probably knows some of them niggas, you know, because we been knowing somebody. I be like, I know that nigga there, man. They got his ass. I know him. Now, see to me, somebody on there, you done hit close to home now. You know some of them people, but all just a smiling and all, you know, all choreographed. All choreographed. You got to look at this thing. All the TV talk shows, all choreographed. They keep telling you, they tell you every day, they say, we don't understand why people would even come on a TV set and air their dirty laundry. Because it's all robots. That thing is all clones, all robots, and they get on there and act like a fool. I'm telling you, we're living in an age whereas this thing is just like a doggone fantasy, scientific thing, science fiction, and you thinking things ain't really happening. I'm telling you, this stuff is going, all those are clones. Because they do some of the most ridiculous things in the world. You know what I'm saying? You know, now she gonna get beat in the head for damn 3 years, and all of a sudden, because she went on the Jenny Jones show, she's saying after the day it's over. Come on, man. All clones. You see what I'm saying? All clones. You got to look at these particular things. Also, too, now, they're killing lottery winners. If you black and you win that lottery, you got probably about 2 years worth of checks coming, and then your ass is dead. This is the new thing now. This is the new thing now. I got some of this information from a brother from Florida. He called and he said, man, a lot of the lottery winners down here are dying. Black ones are dying. They're killing them so they don't have to pay them that money. And it's interesting because the show Sliders, might I add, which I'm going to deal with, the show Sliders last season on Sliders, they had a show where as if you win the lottery, you automatically had to die. Huh? What you say? What about it? Right. Mm-hmm. So the lottery thing is, yeah. So they're killing lottery winners. You know, the 3-digit ain't nothing. You know, you just play the 3-digit and lose half the time to pay them crackers off on the weekend when they win the big stuff. And some cracker with no teeth out in damn Duluth wins. But yet you go in there, you can't even buy a soda because niggas is lined up at the damn counter. You see what I'm saying? And that's a trickster type thing. You know, that's a trickster type thing and all. You see what I'm saying? So, but basically what's happening here is the big ones, and also they got a trick because the big ones, you know, and like they said, you know, your chances of winning is like you got a better chance of getting hit by lightning than winning the doggone lottery. But they're killing the doggone lottery winners. Interesting, one guy made a profound statement that he said, they said, when you want to deal with as far as racism and the civil rights and all this, the guy said, well, what is one of the main things that make you think they're still racist? He said, there have been since 1865, since some Emancipation Proclamation, and probably before that too, when you talk about Nat Turner and a couple of revolting slaves, they said 18,000 black people have died who have killed, was executed in this country who have killed white people. And up to this day, not one white person up to 1996 has ever died in capital punishment for killing a black person. That's amazing. 18,000 blacks since 1865 have died. That's what, 100 and what, what's that? 200 years? How many years is that? 1865, that's what? Yeah, that's 130 years, 131 years, because it's been 30 years in 95. 131 years you have had 18,000 black people died in capital punishment for killing white people, and not one white person died of all the damn Negroes that white people done killed. You see what I'm saying? It was very, very interesting to put in the brain computer. Also now, I'm noticing with the Atlanta police is now they putting the Atlanta police in army suits. Have you seen this? Some of these Atlanta police got green army suits on with the Atlanta police tag on. They got a blue tag that don't even go with the damn color. You know, blue and green now. But they got army suits, so-called to clean up downtown Atlanta. Now I can go downtown Atlanta every day and don't get mugged or nothing. You know, you can go amongst the brothers. Nobody don't never bother nobody down there. Especially, and that's just only one area, the 5 Points area, but they talking about all downtown is dangerous now. Now I don't know where the hell they get this from. Like the Peachtree Plaza and all that area is dangerous. So now they got these people that's supposed to be cleaning up downtown. You know that that's all some stuff to get everything just right for this Olympic type thing, which I'm going to deal with the Olympic things in a few minutes. Few minutes also too. Also now when I was dealing with the moon magic, the reason why I was saying what is up is now down, what you're talking about the kingdom. When you're talking about the kingdom used to be up, where they say the man, where they say in this book, The Secrets of the Kabbalah, the beings who live below say that God is on high, while the angels in heaven say God lives on earth, which means in actuality, this is where the earth came from. But since we've gone through the 50 gates, the earth will they travel up the tree of life and go back into the slot, and it would radiate with the crown feather. So what is up is now down, and what is down is now up. So in actuality, Malkuth is now up here. So therefore, also when you have Sirius A, then where with Sirius A, you're talking about the heaven sphere. This is now Sirius, because we're talking about the earth going back into another dimension. So we're talking about slots. You can't look at this thing as physical. We're talking about energy changing forms. Hell, if I take a glass of water and put it in the doggone ocean, pour it out in the ocean, it's the ocean again. You see what I'm saying? So the key is you can't look at it the physical, because this is the hologram and the illusion. So now which is up, this is now the kingdom. Very key that you understand this, because when I go into what I'm here for today and go into this history on what's going on with some entities and stuff, I'm going deep into this thing today, you'll understand this. But also, so you had Sirius A, which this slot is, and Sirius B is now the moon. The moon is now, so that's why it's real key, because also you will see Anpu or Anubis. He's also represented as the moon as well as Tahuti, but also Anubis is also represented as Sirius A or Sirius B. We'll go into that science. I'm jumping ahead of myself, but it's real key about that moon magic also too. This particular book, now this white boy ain't wrote a book since 1980, Eric Van Daniken. It's called The Eye of the Sphinx, newest evidence on extraterrestrial contact in ancient Egypt. Now all of a sudden he came out with a new book, and it's supposed to have all this evidence in it. So now they're bringing out the actual evidence. His last book was called Van Daniken's Proof, where they was making fun of him about chariots of the gods in 1960s. So he said, okay, I'm going to come out with Van Daniken's Proof. And he came out with that one in 1980, and they shut up. They had to be quiet. They didn't even want to go even try to attack the book, because they knew he had all the science up in there. So now this is his new book, The Eye of the Sphinx by Eric Van Daniken. It just came out also too. She'll have some up in here next week. Now how many people saw Ancient Prophecies 3? The majority of people didn't see Ancient Prophecies 3 is because they did it for a particular reason. They took the Ancient Prophecies 3 and they put it on opposite the Grammys. They know most damn people going to be watching the Grammys. Some idiots that's singing Mary J. Blige and all these clones and stuff, you know, Mary J. Blige. And damn Mary J. Blige got blonde hair. Faith got blonde hair, and they sound just alike, and they act just alike, and all this. So these idiots and stuff, you see what I'm saying? Because you still giving awards to doggone entertainment, which is foolishness right now and all. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, what's that?
They did that in the Super Bowl too, because 60 Minutes they ran a big special on super technology, new technology, pulse generator guns.
Right. Also, and you remember now, also I want this reminded me, you know, 60 Minutes ran a special on the brother on the brother that you know, President Clinton was all up in here talking about we got to go and take my man and put him back into Haiti because of this regime, and Aristide, and then they ran a 60-minute special on the brother they were supposed to have been overthrowing. He said the president and them was paying him off too, and it's all documented and all. You see what I'm saying? Just like we had said also too. So now this ancient prophecies came on this time, and they was dropping on the Philadelphia experiment. They was literally saying, no, it ain't no theory. We got time travel. Then they had the Indian prophets, and there was literally, for the first time in the history, these white people was on the doggone on TV admitting that they came in and had no respect for the Indian culture, the people, or the land, and just killed up people. So they was going through all of this stuff and all, and nobody saw it mostly because basically everybody was watching the Grammys, and that's the reason why they put on things. You see, but anyway, for those people who watched it, I did copy the whole thing too. So. Also now, dealing with the movies, the show Sliders is back on, which is real key because they're showing this worm head and they're talking about going from one dimension to another dimension. But although the Cracker is dealing with it artificially, you can slide through your head. So anybody want to understand what I'm talking about sliding as far as one reality to another reality that you call the hereafter, it's the same earth. You ain't going